Well guys, I just wanted to start off by saying you are definitely going to want to watch this video in its entirety. This trip was probably the best trip I've ever taken off-roading. As this video progresses, you'll see that the trails get way tighter, way more technical, and super epic. And as you'll see, just about everyone suffered some sort of damage. I actually had so much video on this trip, I had to split it into 2 separate videos. So be sure you stick around for part 2. I think you're really going to enjoy this. Morning guys, it's about 7:30 in the morning. Most everybody is waking up or have woken up already. Yeah, so this is day 2 technically, since we got here yesterday. So first full day of wheeling, so it should be pretty fun. I'm gonna go ahead and collapse my tent. I'm way over there somewhere. Yeah, we're here. Well, like I said, first things first, I'm just packing down my tent. Everybody's kind of consolidating and collapsing all their gear from the previous night. And then we all moved to airing down our rigs because the trail was right outside of camp. Usually when I drive around town and stuff, I run about 30 PSI in my tires. But for off-road trips and when I'm wheeling and stuff, I usually go down to about 16. I feel like that's kind of my best tire range that I've found. All right, we got everybody circled up, ready to go. Well, right off the bat, you can see we probably found one of the tightest trails out there. We had to have constant spotters left and right navigating through these super tight trees. And actually, on the very first trail, somehow Matthew in his Tacoma already put a little ding in the passenger side front fender. Well, it looks like this trail hasn't been driven on in years. Got some down trees and stuff. Matt's told us to get out the chainsaws. So we're gonna go down here and inspect the damage. What up, bud? Say hi.
Hi.
All right, so we made it to the front of the trail. Say it's a big tree. Time to work, huh?
Time to work. I like the doctor.
So this tree was definitely no joke. It was super heavy and there's no way just a single vehicle could pull it out with the winch. So the guys rigged up a couple snatch blocks in order to get a little bit better mechanical advantage so we could pull this tree down the mountain and out of the way of the trail. It's budging.
Moving a hair. I'm just worried about it hanging on that tree, but it's breaking everything. Automatic gate roll. Woo! Yes. Woo!
So it wasn't about 100 feet past this tree until we saw a whole new group of trees over the trail. But we did see that there was a bypass around them. However, as you'll see, the bypass turned out to be a little bit sketchy.
Whoa! Oh. That was so close.
So the most difficult thing about this bypass was the sheer angle of it, as well as the really, really slick, muddy clay. And then when you got to the bottom, there were 2 trees that were very close together. You can see in Chris's red 4Runner, we decided to break out the traction boards and we were able to set them in between the tree and his tire to sort of push his vehicle out and get him free of those trees.
Pushing him? You got it. You got it. Passenger. You got it. There you go. You got her. Nice. You! Clear. Damn genius, go. You're about to just slide. Just roll it out. Keep coming. Keep coming. Keep coming. You can overrun it on the other side, no problem. Let off your brake, let off your brake. You got it.
Yeah!
Clear, clear, yeah.
You!
Nicely done, sir.
Next up was John in his JL Rubicon. and you could definitely tell he's sliding his way down this little hill.
All right, now come forward.
That is some nasty stuff.
We noticed that as each rig had made it through the bypass, the trail became sloppier and much more slippery.
Soaking wet.
That's definitely helping. You coming?
Go forward, driver.
But you can see he also had the problem of those two very tight trees. And with his rig being pretty heavy, we decided to hook up a winch and actually pull him rather than use the traction boards.
Let's get out of possible rolling path area.
There it is. You got it.
After John was down, Matthew was up in his Tacoma, and man, he made it look pretty easy. He made it through without any major issues.
You're about to hit your sliders, but you're good. Woo! Nice.
Up next, it was my turn. And to be honest, it was kind of sketchy sliding down that mountain with no traction at all.
Come straight.
Man, I gotta hand it to the TJ though. With it being so small and nimble, I had no problem getting in between those trees.
Yeah, no, get out the way.
That was easy.
And then from there, I just slid on down the hill. Up last was Nathan in his silver ZR2, and oh man, he was not very lucky.
Good job.
Keep coming straight.
He's good.
All right, cut passenger. Up, straighten up.
Whoa! Whoa!
What was that?
Back line.
Acid is so long.
As you can see, the rear of his truck got caught in between those two trees, and there was really no way of backing him out.
Take her straight, driver.
These next few clips are pretty cringy and honestly pretty hard to watch. Just glad it wasn't my truck. Sorry, Nathan.
I went through just fine.
Yeah, but
Yeah, you're the first one.
number 3, 4, and 5 would have been bad.
Well, it was only a few minutes later until we ran into our next issue on the trail. A big tree had fallen over and created a really soupy, nasty mud hole that a lot of us got stuck in. Matt made it through just fine. After Ryan made it through in his 4th gen 4Runner, Nick was coming through in his 5th gen, and his back tire just slipped in enough to where he got stuck.
Right back in the hole.
The rest of the group made it out with no issues. Next up, we had a really small water crossing, and there was a tree in the dead middle of the other side, as well as another small tree on the right side. So the only line was to go left, into the slippery roots. I didn't get this on video, but a couple made it through on the left side of the tree, but Nick really wasn't lucky at all. He went up and slid on the roots and bashed the side of his 4Runner into the tree. So immediately after that happened, we decided to cut down the small tree on the right side and just swing hard right.
Nice.
Well, we just met back up camp, and we all had lunch. It's like 3:45, but still we had lunch. Everybody's packing their stuff up, and we're gonna go back at it. Do some water crossings, and we have a little slight different campsite than what was planned. Because, why, Matt?
Well, the last trail sucked.
Yeah. How many hours?
6 hours, 10 miles.
Yeah.
Down trees. 6 of the rigs have got some sort of damage.
Yep. I smoked my light. We got
So-
some body damage.
It
Yeah.
was like drive 50 yards, chainsaw.
Yeah, the MVP of the trip has been the chainsaw.
The
chainsaw.
electric chainsaw.
Yeah.
The DeWalt.
Yeah. Here's a little clip of some carnage I got. Little dent right here. But I'll be able to pull that out, I think. But this was smoked pretty good. I'll just throw some glue on it or JB Weld or something, and it'll be all right. Next up on the trail, we had a few proper water crossings that were really, really beautiful. And then we found some pretty deep mud. This is Ben. Ben is never afraid to use the skinny pedal, and you'll see throughout the trip he definitely has the least amount of fear. Next, we found a pretty big mud hole, but had no idea how deep it was. And of course, Ben volunteered himself and said, "Bet." That dude's crazy, but super fun to watch. A few of us decided to still go through the mud hole, and then the remaining went around in a bypass. But then things turned south pretty quick. Oh shoot. Oh god.
Yeah. There used to be a tree across the wall. Oh yeah. Like I think I'm sleeping about a second. Ben, you're responsible for hooking up your recovery kit. I can't open the door. You don't. You drive them out the window. Ask me how I know. I've done it before in this very hole.
Ben was completely stuck in this mud hole. At the very end of it, there was a big wall that kept him from going forward, and water was rushing into his car by the second.
Yeah, there's a wall right there. Where am I supposed to go now?
Go to the front.
He's got a 35 and I can't see it.
Yeah, it's swallowed.
Drain plugs are coming out tonight.
But we made pretty quick work of it and hooked up a winch to him and pulled him right out.
Go ahead and fall in. You can sleep with Matt. That's nice.
I'm going.
There it is.
It is cold. Yes.
I got an electrical light on.
But you got all kinds of lights on.
You'll have more. I'd go ahead and open that door and let that water out. Open the door. Open the door. We want to see something come out.
After that, we got ready to push on into some more technical trail. You! This was the last bit of trail we had for the day, and by far the most technical. We had this line, which had a pretty big washout that you had to straddle to get up.
Come on.
There it is.
All right, whoa, whoa, whoa. Flex, back up. Stop. Passenger. Right there. Come forward.
Okay.
Slowly.
Passenger.
Little passenger. Passenger. There you go, right there. There you go. Hold that line right there. Hold it. Hold it. Hold it. Hold it. Keep coming. Driver. 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 There you go. Oh, right there.
Yeah.
Straight. Go. There you go. Keep going.
Digging.
All right, stop.
Yeah, that's nice.
Hang on.
I'm not pulling.
Use the winch.
I think someone's got. I think.
Hey, it's moving right now. See it?
Now straighten up.
Yeah, there it is. Then we had a bypass that still went through some slippery roots. And then we had another little bypass that was a little bit easier than that. So I'm currently hung up on some really slippy roots. And I've given it all I got, and I'm not going anywhere. So Robert's gonna pull me out with his 4Runner. He's gonna just attach I think like a stretch rope and pull me up. First sign of pavement I've seen all day. It's been, I think, 12 hours maybe. It's about 7:30, and I think we're pretty close to rolling into camp for the night. Alright guys, well obviously it is nighttime, and we're still rolling into camp. We have two more little water crossings. We got two more little water crossings up here, and then we'll be camping on the Illinois Bayou over here. Should be a pretty nice spot. We do have some severe thunderstorms rolling in tonight, so that should be fun. I think everybody's just gonna set up as quick as they can and get some food because we are so hungry. Alright guys, got a little setup over here. Here it is. Tonight I'm going to have some wild rice, and then got some colossal shrimp and some garlic butter and some blackened seasoning. So I'm gonna have some really good shrimp and rice. Alright, so I'm in my tent. Wow, and you can see the storm is rolling in. Everybody's kind of packing up. Oh yeah, it's coming. It's coming. Wow. Man, that dinner was so good. I think it's gonna be actually a pretty peaceful night, even with the storm, because I love the sound of rain when I'm sleeping. But anyway, excited to get some sleep, and I'll see you guys in the morning. Morning, guys. We're right here. Got my coffee. Right here on the edge of the Illinois Bayou. Beautiful. Super nice this morning. The rain finally quit last night. Nathan's making some bacon and eggs, so I'm definitely gonna get some of that. But yeah, just gonna pack up pretty soon and hit the road for some more trails.
Last night.
Look at that wave. Our next water crossing was actually pretty short, but at the end was really deep. You can see it just totally swallowed Ryan's 4Runner. Woo! Yes, sir. Oh my gosh. Send it, Ben. Hey guys, we're just taking a little stop here, and Chris is gonna go ahead and go back home. He's having some popping from the CV or something like that. So red 4Runner right here. He's gonna go ahead and go home. We're all just kind of chilling right here and gonna tell him goodbye. And then it's back at it. I think we're gonna go to the original camp spot we went to, or we were supposed to go to last night. Have lunch there and then continue going. Stopped here and just gonna eat some lunch and hang out. I think Nathan is cooking some chicken quesadillas for us, so those will be good. So yep, we're just kind of hanging out right here for now, and then we'll get back to it. All right guys, so this last segment of video is probably one of my favorites for part one. Of course, running through technical trails and going through water crossings are super fun, but it's really nice to get out and actually see some beautiful scenery every now and then. And this was definitely it. While I have a whole lot of video left for this trip, I thought I'd leave you guys with this really beautiful view to wrap up the end of part 1. Be sure to hit subscribe and hit that notification bell to make sure you don't miss part 2, because this trip gets even better. Thank you guys for watching.